Fountain pens and inks. Obsession? Maybe. Welcome to Urban Ink Spot. Today we're going to do a currently inked for August and September 2025. Now, I have been out of pocket a little bit. I have been doing some traveling in June, July, also in August, and I'm just now back from a trip recently where I stayed with a friend in Ohio, bought some stickers. We have a new one here. I have neither the time nor the crayons to explain this to you, which I absolutely love. We might take a look at these other stickers a little bit later on, but let's go ahead and jump in. Now, like I said, I've been on a couple of trips, so I've had a few pens inked for a while. I haven't done a currently inked or a recap for a while, so I want to go ahead and get a little bit caught up on what was inked for August and September, and then I do plan to go back and finish editing the content that I've already done for like that May, June, July timeframe, since I have been a little bit absent. So planning to get caught up, so let's get caught up. So what we're going to do is the August and September, and we're going to do 10 pens today. Lots of pens. And I'm going to try to do them in the order of the ones that are somewhat newer or that you may not have seen. And I want to feature some of the pens that I've just inked up for September, also ones that I've been using in August, and we'll kind of work backwards a little bit so you can see the newer ones first. So let's get into it. This is my Galen Leather pen pouch. I guess it's a pen pouch. I'll link it below. I love this thing. This is one of the very first pouches that I ever bought from Galen Leather, and it does have a couple of little ink stains on it, which are a little bit unfortunate, but that's, I guess, kind of how it goes, right? So we're going to start with my Pilot Custom 823. And actually, let me move this off to the side. Where will we do it? We'll do it right here. Okay, so we'll start with the Pilot Custom 823, and this one has a new ink in it. Pilot Custom 823, and this is in a medium gold nib. And I have this inked with Robert Oster chocolate. And this ink is relatively new in my collection. It's one of the newest ones that I have added in. And I bought it specifically for this pen. I think I previously had this inked with, Kyono Oto Adzukiiro. And so these colors are pretty similar. I will not be surprised if as I'm going through some of my other journals, it's hard for me to tell but this is much different of a color. The second pen is my Pilot Custom 74. And this was originally in a medium nib. And I had this ground to a journaler nib by Gina Salarino of Custom Nib Studio. And I have this inked with Sailor Zare Gokuro, because I recently did a swatch of all of my bottled inks, and I was looking at this one and remembering how much I really loved this pairing. When I first bought this ink, this was the first pen that I put it in. So yeah, a little bit of reminiscing there. The third pen we want to look at is my Black Robin Skateboard pen. And this pen is made out of recycled skateboards. And this was originally in a medium nib. But I also had this one ground into a journaler, also by Gina Salarino of Custom Nib Studio. And I have this one inked with a sample that I recently picked up on a trip to Yoseka Stationery. And this is Kyo no Oto Ochigu Ito. And I have been looking for a darker brown that will kind of match the brown in this pen. And I'm not certain that this is the one, but I have had this inked up with this ink for a little bit, and I'm trying to work my way through the sample so I can decide if this is the ink that I ultimately want to keep inked in this pen. The next pen is one that I had kind of permanently inked for a while. This is a MUJI metal. It's an aluminum pen. And I had this previously inked with Yoseka Stationery Green, and it's been inked for a while, for a number of months. I have finally finished the cartridge fill, and so I've re-inked it because I do want to keep this pen pretty much permanently inked because I really like the way that it fits really nicely into these Hobonichi Week pen loops. Speaking of Hobonichi Weeks, I wonder if any of you guys have placed any orders for your 2026 planner lineup. If you're planning on using a Hobonichi or any of the planners that are out, I do want to pick up my weeks in person, but I did place a partial order today from Jet Pens. Okay, so this is my MUJI aluminum pen, and this is in a, what do I think this is? I think that this is an extra fine, and I have this one inked with Kyo no Oto Hisoku, and I, at first glance, I am not sure that I'm going to be very happy with this. I do like this ink a lot, but I don't know that this extra fine is putting down enough ink for it to even be visible. And having a pen and ink pairing where the writing is not visible is problematic for me. It's like one of my pet peeves. So I just washed this pen out. I am hoping that as the ink works its way through the feed, that it might get a little bit more saturated. But yeah, this might not stay. I might end up needing to move this ink into another pen. It might just be the extra fine nib. Okay. Let's take a look at the next pen, which is a newer pen to me. This is a MUJI compact fountain pen in extra fine that I recently picked up, just a couple of weeks ago. And was it a couple of weeks ago? Yeah, I think it was a couple of weeks ago. You know what? Let me look. Oh, yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago. I bought this in mid-August. Okay, so this is also a MUJI pen, and this is a compact pen. Also in extra fine. This was an impulse buy. I saw this at the register, and while I was picking up some other things, and just decided to go ahead and throw it into the cart. This was about $19 USD. And yeah, it's been a nice little compact pen. I did a video about this recently on my channel, and I have this inked with Montblanc Modena Red. Okay, what else do we have? We have, let's work through the other pens in this pocket. This is my Pilot Prera. And I believe this is in a fine nib. I will confirm if I'm wrong. And I have this inked with Sailor Kiwaguro. And this is the newest ink in my collection. I purchased this ink as the successor to my Diatramentis Document Black, my pigment ink, because I knew I needed another pigment ink. I had completed that ink bottle. Now, I do have this ink in another pen, but because this is the one that oftentimes goes with my journal on the go, I do like to keep a pigment ink in this pen loop. Okay, what else do we have in here? Here we go. We have the Schon Design Pocket 6 in faceted brass, another compact pen. And this is in a medium nib. And I have this inked with Birmingham Pen Company Interstellar Bronze. Okay, so we have 3 more to go. Let's do the TWSBIs. I have three TWSBIs inked up this month. You know what? I should do a feature of my TWSBI pens. I do have a lot of TWSBIs in my collection. They are a really fun pen to have. I'll make sure I make a note of that to add that into an upcoming video. This is my TWSBI Eco Clear in a medium nib. And I have this also inked with Sailor Kiwaguro. And I just put a tiny bit of ink in here when I was doing my new ink day video. And I haven't worked my way through this fill, but I will. I do plan to finish this out and then just keep this one as the inked pen with Kiwaguro. Okay. The remaining 2 TWSBIs that I have inked were inked because I like to travel with these pens. And I will probably also do a feature with how I travel with my fountain pens. This is another compact pen. This is my little bit of a hard start there. So this is my TWSBI Vac Mini in a nib that I had ground by Kirk Spear from Pen Realm. And on the front side, it's a cursive italic. And on the reverse, it's a broad. And I have this inked with Jacques Herbin Vert Empire. And the final pen that I have inked in this lineup of 10 pens for August and September is my TWSBI. I just flossed the tines on this one. This is my TWSBI VAC 700R, and this is in a medium nib, and this is inked with Lennon toolbar, Mesona T, which is a sample that I recently picked up from Yoseka Stationery. It's the second time I've had this sample in my collection, and I really love this ink. I just refreshed the fill to get it filled all the way up, and I am still not done with the sample that I picked up. Okay. So that is what we have been writing with in August, and will continue writing with in September. And, oh, let's get a look at these stickers. I got this one because I just think it's great. And of course, one ticket to the show. Anyway, I look forward to circling back and letting you guys know how these pen and ink pairings performed over the full 2-month period. And we will be measuring them across 5 different categories of aesthetics, writing experience, versatility and reliability, shareability, and personal enjoyment. So look for that video coming at the end of September so that you can see how these pen and inks did. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we will catch up in the next one. Bye.